Dan Illman and Mike Beard getting set for race number 11 at Monmouth Park on Saturday. We're here taking in the Rays in the Jersey Shore, and it's the Grade 1 United Nations. We're going 1 3/8 miles, 3 turns around the Monmouth turf course. $600,000 is the purse. Let's take a look at this field. We kick off the pick 4. Catnip's won 3 in a row. Won the local prep, the Grade 3 Monmouth at 1 1/8 miles. Can he get the distance?
It's the big question of the race. This horse still has tons of upside. Very lightly raced. He's been really good since he's come back off the layoff this year, Danny. When he won that Monmouth last time, a little bit of a trip that he had to overcome, but he overcame it with a strong finish.
He's got some speed as well. As we throw up the Timeform US pace projector, he should be close to the pace. I would expect the number 4 Ocean's Map's going to be close as well. And even the 8 Foreign Relations has shown some speed. I don't think they'll be blasting out of there.
It's not going to be a fast pace in this race. I think you're right that Foreign Relations could be forward. He got a great trip when he won that Grade 3 at 1.5 miles at Churchill Downs 2 starts back. That was a good performance, though. I think I'm with you, though. I think the 4 Ocean's Map could show the way early in here.
Therapist could very well become a millionaire here at Monmouth on Saturday. He's got $993,000 in earnings. He can still step at the age of 8. Last time out, he got a really good trip, I thought, in that race at Ellis. He saved ground in mid-pack. He crept into the pocket, got to the outside, but he was punching on at the end. And I think he's tactical enough that Javier can get him settled just in behind the leaders in a good trip.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. What a cool New York bred this horse is. And Mike Maker is just amazing with horses like this. He took him for $50,000. This is a horse, Dan, I can remember going back a couple of years when Clement had him. I wouldn't bet this horse going 9 furlongs because I thought it was too far for him. Maker's got him winning graded stakes races going long.
He's actually stretching out to a distance that might be very effective for him. Again, you mentioned his win in the Pan Am 3 starts back. So High is going to step up. He was 4th last time out in a first level allowance. He was also close to a pretty solid pace. I think So High grabs the lead here.
You know, that's very possible. I think they do want to be forward with him. These are, again, they are connections that don't mind taking a shot in races like this. And this horse has actually run pretty well in some tough races along the way. He's in tough once again.
Michael Stidham is the well-bred Catnip in here, seeking his 4th consecutive victory. Here's his win in the Monmouth Stakes, going 1 1/8 miles last time out. He broke sharp. The pace was solid. He kind of lost a little bit of position on the second turn, but undaunted, he got to the outside and ran him right down.
Really liked his performance from him because you're right. He was up close early. Rosario elected to stay on hold as other horses made moves past him around the final turn. He got shuffled back a little bit, but once he got clear, look at the finish that he puts in this race to get the job done, and he did it under strong handling. This horse is pretty good, Dan. He's got to stretch all the way out, though.
Ocean's Map makes his 2nd start off of a 6-month layoff, and while he was wired last time out at Laurel in a slow-paced race won by Dr. Davis, he was sitting up close to that pace.
He was sitting up close to that pace. It wasn't a good performance. He's got a lot to prove in a race like this. He's a prior stakes winner going 1.5 miles. I don't think you have to worry about distance with him. The question is he good enough?
He was 10th in this race at 82 to 1 last year, I believe, and in 2021, hasn't won in a long time. Limited liability goes out for Shug McGahee. This horse was a 2nd level allowance winner at this distance 2 starts back. 2nd last time out. I thought he ran pretty well that day.
I did too, Dan. I questioned how far this horse really wanted to go and whether the added distance would really help him. Maybe it actually helped him. He was really game through the stretch in that race to get up for 2nd. I'll be honest, when he came off the layoff and got the job done in that allowance race back in April, I didn't think he ran that well. He took a step forward last time.
This horse was Grade 2 placed at 2. And you know what they say about these Shug runners? Distance, experience.
Yep.
Maybe he's coming into his own. Planetario comes in from Southern California, where he won the Grade 3 San Juan Capistrano. This race going 14 furlongs. Now, the San Juan Capistrano is not the San Juan Capistrano that was in the 40s and 50s, but Planetario won this race very easily while racing on his left lead.
Yeah, another little step in the right direction, too. Feels like he's getting better with every start for Mandela. Even though he just won a graded stakes race on the turf in Southern California, it feels like this race is tougher than that one.
Here's another Maker claim. He took Yamato for 50. This horse got beat 2 lengths in the Louisville last time out. It really wouldn't surprise anyone if he wins this race. He needs to take a slight step forward, but I think he's a lot more tactical than he showed last time. He just didn't break very well.
I think you're probably right. If you haven't learned your lesson already, you'll learn it soon enough that you really want to take a second look at these Maker horses, especially recent claims that he decides to stretch way out in distance. It didn't work last time. He might be able to do better here.
Foreign Relations won 2 and 3 starts back. 2 back the Grade 3 Louisville, beating several of these horses. Last time out, they turned him back going 1.25 miles, and He was the beaten favorite that day. He didn't run up to par, but I wonder if he's just the kind of horse that needs this extra ground.
I mean, that's certainly possible, Dan. It's a very valid way to look at this horse. And he did run pretty well 2 starts back. I would just say that when he won the Louisville 2 starts back, and I don't want to knock that performance at all, he got a great trip in that race.
Red Knight is up next, trained by guess who? Michael Maker. He won the Grade 1 Man Award 2 starts back, going 1 mile and 3/8. Last time out in the Manhattan, he was in against probably the best turf horse in the country at Up to the Mark. He fell far behind early. He came very wide into the stretch, and he was punching on late.
He ran really well again last time. He picked up that sort of elusive Grade 1 win 2 starts back going this distance. This horse is just really good, Dan. He's going to sit back. He's going to make one run. He's the horse to beat.
Sometimes a little bit of a tough ride, Red Knight, but he just needs a little bit of pace and trip luck. He's the class of the race. Kygo is up next. He was 4th last time out in a second level allowance race. Now making a second start of the form cycle. Some class questions he has to answer.
Yeah, it's a really big step up in class for this horse. He's going to be a price if you like him. I thought it was way too tough.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 1 United Nations. Who do you like in here?
I'm very interested to see what the number 3 Catnip can do here as they stretch him out. I'm just going to take the very logical horse on top in here for Maker, Red Knight. I went 9-3.
I'm going to go with a different Maker. I'm going to go with Therapist, hoping he can save some ground early and punch on home late, getting the jump on a horse like Red Knight. Should be a good addition of the Grade 1 UN as we get closer to Haskell here at Monmouth Park.